Welcome everybody to the weekly Zera Shimshon Shir from Yosef Lane. I know I was a bit late this week. We had a lot to do last week, and it's Sunday, so it's still Gimel Elul, and I'll do Parsha Shoftim. I found a really nice piece, and there's a really good schooler this week also, and I'll share with you some interesting facts also. Hang in there. So this is talking about judging according to the situation. Okay. Shoftim v'shotim titun lecho b'chol ma'sharecha asher Hashem Elokecha nosen lecho l'shvatecha v'shoftu es ha'am mishpat tzedek. You shall set up judges and law enforcement officials for you in all your cities that Hashem, your Hashem, God, is giving you for your tribes, and they shall judge the nation with righteous judgment. I think the Iker word we're concentrating is Shoftu es ha'am. Ha'am means the nation. Okay. The verse begins, you shall set up judges and law enforcement officials for you, and should have ended the same way by writing, they shall judge you, and not they shall judge the nation. So it switches the tense, the person. Why do you need to write the nation at all? The verse just easily have said they shall judge. You would have understood that the Torah is referring to judgment for a nation. Who else are going to judge? After all, who else will be talking about? Furthermore, the Torah could have written that they should judge righteously instead of judge the nation with righteous judgment. A little switch in the letter, the meaning of the words. But what are we discussing here? Or what we are discussing here is a situation in which the judge must pass a ruling that seems wrong and unfair, so as to ensure that justice is served. So if we find such a case where the Chizda confronts Mari Bar Isik, it's a Gemara in Bava Metzia. If you want to look it up, 39a. Mari Bar Isik was a tough guy. He was a mobster, a reputation. He questions Reb Chizda about a certain ruling that he had issued. Is that the correct ruling here? He asks, are you being fair to me? Reb Chizda replies, this is how we rule when it comes to you thuggish and violent people such as you and your friends. Boom. Even though according to the normal rules of the court, there should have been a different ruling. Since Reb Chizda was familiar with the people involved and knew that Mari Bar Isik was a violent and dangerous person, he ruled differently so that Mari Bar Isik would not be able to take advantage of the system and use the defendant's fear of his violent nature against him. Reb Chizda, as a seasoned judge with an intimate understanding of the case and the people involved, knew that this ruling was the only way to ensure that justice would be meted out in this particular case. So the verse writes, they shall judge the nation. Here we emphasize again, ha'am. The aggressive and inferior ones amongst Bnei Yisrael are referred to on many occasions as the am. Like for example, in Bamidbar, ha'am kimis eininim. The nation was looking for complaints. The Torah is stressed that they judge the nation with righteous judgment. A judge should make sure that justice is served, even if it means circumventing what some may consider the normal methods of justice. Because the most important thing is that justice is done, especially when dealing with people who intimidate others and know how to get their way. Okay, in those cases, the judge must be creative and use the power at his disposal to ensure that people with criminal intent and tendencies do not abuse the system for their own benefit, and that righteous justice is dispensed to all concerned. On a similar note, we find a halacha in the Ramah and Shulchan Aruch and Choshen Mishpat 15 and it's in number 5, that if it appears to Beis Din that someone stole, but they have no halachic way of forcing the thief to return the stolen object, the Beis Din can decree that no one in the Jewish community should do business with the thief. And that is alluded to the words that judge the nation, when Beis Din rules that no one is to have any business dealings with one of the sides due to their being willfully in the wrong. Beis Din's ruling is incumbent on the entire nation The court's insistence on fair judgments and consequences for those who ignore their rulings will bring about righteous judgment for the nation. Okay, that's a Zera Shimshon. Now there is a segula today, and it comes with an interesting footnote. If those that have followed the yard site yomis. Okay, it was, now read this, and this is from Benjamin Pashkas. Okay, it was just before the 6th of Elul. Now that day might not sit up in anybody's memory. That's a few days before Parshas Shoftim, and I wanted to do something extra special to commemorate the yard site of the Zera Shimshon, which fell out on that day. Okay, so the Vav Elul, the 6th of Elul, is the yard site of the Zera Shimshon. So light a candle, give tzedakah, say a special prayer, and beg for whatever segula you want. I put together a newsletter that was significantly larger than the one I normally put in, and I decided that we could also distribute it more widely 1 week at shuls all across Borough Park and Williamsburg. As everybody knows, when a person is trying to do a good thing, the Yetzer Hara comes and does his best to get in the way and slow things down. A million different things happened that Friday, and I understood that the extra special yard site edition would only be ready to leave the printers on Friday afternoon. Significantly complicating an already busy day. But if the papers had already hadn't been on time, the distribution would have been taken care of. But now it was mid-Friday afternoon, and just the thought of taking on such a giant task by myself was extremely daunting. A yid git zich an etza, okay? And I began mentally reviewing the list of people whom I could call to come and help me do this important and difficult task. I felt some hesitation before you put somebody in a situation where he is kind of compelled to help you. You want to be sure that he's really okay with it. I narrowed the list down. I might call and decided then try my good friend Rabbi Ari Resnick, which is a pseudonym. Not only has a warm spot in his heart for the Zera Shimshon, but also as a Baal Chesed par excellence. Rabbi, I said when he answered the phone, this is your Chaver Binyamin Pashkes calling you to ask you, are you interested in doing a mitzvah? When he heard what I needed for him to do, he didn't hesitate. He merely asked me where we should meet. He drove over to the printers, began helping me move the stacks of Torah papers into the car. After we finished loading the vehicle, we began our arduous task of driving around to every single shul and mikveh in Brooklyn and Williamsburg. You know that what traffic is like on Friday afternoon. Those who haven't experienced it, you're not missing anything. In the congested streets of Borough Park. But Rabbi Ari smiled his way through the stress of the beeping horns and triple parked cars, and the two of us worked tirelessly to carry out our self-appointed task. Spending hours distributing Torah sheets all over Brooklyn was fine with me, but I knew exactly what I was getting myself into and chose to do it. But Ari had gone out of his way in every sense of the word. This was not his project, and he was not the type of person to spend an entire Erev Shabbos jumping in and out of his car. Yet he had done it with a smile. When we finished the job and we were driving home, I said, Rabbi, I have no doubt that you will be rewarded for the tremendous effort you invested today to spread the Torah of Zera Shimshon. I feel sure that you will see major bracha in your life in the near future. We parted a few minutes later with a warm handshake and the wishes of good Shabbos, and now began getting ready for Shabbos. We hadn't been apart from 1 hour when Rabbi Ari called me. Long time no see, I greeted him. You missed me already? Binyamin, he said, you're not going to believe this. What happened? Okay. You know that I play music for a living, right? Go on. And in my field, clients normally book for you for a job months in advance. It's extremely rare for somebody to call me for a job a week in advance. If that happens, it means that something fell through and there's an emergency. Anyway, that's exactly what happened 10 minutes ago. Someone called me and asked me if I was available for a job next week. The unexpected business came my way so soon after we finished distributing the Torah of Zera Shimshon around Brooklyn, and so soon after your beautiful bracha, seemed the type of coincidence that you needed to know about. Of course, Binyamin was very moved by the story and not surprised. It was par excellence when it came to Zera Shimshon, par for the course when it came to Zerah Shimshon, especially since the incident took place on his yahrzeit. So everybody will have a wonderful day and be blessed. And don't forget, light a candle on Wednesday, Tuesday night, which is Wednesday, the Vav Sivan. Just make sure I'm righty. Vav Elo. And make sure that I'm right, that I said the right day. I think it's Wednesday. Okay, everybody have a wonderful week and a blessed week. And is blessed by the blessings of the Zerah Shimshon should fill all Klal Yisrael. Called to.